This is, what do they call this? High Cross?
High Cross, yeah.
This is High Cross Restaurant, and we've come out in the evening for dinner, and we thought we were just going to be our own group, and all at once there's quite a few people showed up here where we're all having dinner together. I'm just taking a shot. I'm going to have to change tapes pretty quick here. We're all just getting ready to have our Sunday night dinner. These are all the straws from Dundalk.
You like lamb, don't you? I think what we're going to do, Joe.
Huh? The clock, is it? There's a sign on the wall here just as we come in. It's certainly not going to apply to the Shaws. We're in a little private dining room, and we're about to say grace, I'm sure, before the meal starts. And how about Lorcan? Will Lorcan lead us in the...
Great. I don't know what else on. And married to Marie Shaw with we've got 6 kids.
Wonderful. Next?
My name is Michael Shaw. I'm the son of Lord Shaw, King of Carlow. And married to Marie Helen Kerr. And well, we live in Dundalk. I was born in Dundalk. I'm still living in Dundalk. I'm working there. And I'm married. Two children.
Okay, Lorcan?
Lorcan Shaw, brother of Michael and Maureen, Alice, Pat, and married to Anne, and with 3 boys. Cormac is here, Jared and Lawrence. Cormac's married to Karen. Karen is from Ohio, and they have 2 children, Connor and Laura.
Okay. Okay, let me stop looking here.
Jared is married to Valerie O'Hare, and they have 2 children as well. That's Connell and Emma. They live in Swords in Dublin.
Okay.
My name is Willie Goss. I live in Logan Field with Coit and Dog. My mother Alice Goss, my father John Goss. Well, Alice Shaw, my father John Goss. And 3 brothers and 1 sister. And that's it, from 16.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Me, is it?
Yeah.
I'm Alice Goss. Alice Shaw, married to John Goss. And I have 5 children. And I live in Logan Keel, Tilbury, Dundalk. And I have 2 grandchildren as well. 5 children are Aidan Marlock and Fergal Tulloch and Melissa. That's it. And Aidan was married to Tomas Began, and they have 2 children, Tomas and Donald.
Okay, great.
My name is John Goss. I'm married to Alice Shaw, and we have 5 children. We live in Lower Keith-Foy, Dundalk, Lane. I drive a lorry and I'm a bit of a farmer.
Okay, here we go.
My name is Marie Shaw McKenna. I'm married to Patrick McKenna from Torquay, formerly from Dundalk. And my father was Lauren Shaw. My mother was Mary Catherine Kerr from Mullmill, Amyvale, County Monaghan. And Patrick and I have 6 children. starting with Clement, who's married to Bernadette Rafferty, and they have 3 boys, Paul, Sean and Mark. And then my next daughter is Mary, who's married to John Keelan, who lives off the Naas Road, here we are, near Carlow. And they have 2 children, Alison and Gerald, who's 2 years old. And then I have another son, Padraig, who lives in Dundalk. Our original home that we were reared in us 5, Pat, Alice, Larkin and Michael. And I have our original home, and my son Padraig lives there. At present he's studying for accounting, so it's handy for him to walk around from where he is, you know, around that area. Round Dundalk, kind of like that's where he lives. Then my next girl is Bernadette, who's married to Desmond Murphy, who lives in London, 23 Rothwell Garden in Stagnham, Essex. And she has a new baby there in July, and Pat and I were both over for 3 weeks while it was being born, and she took it home to Monaghan to have it christened there about 2 weeks ago, so she's gone back. She is a manager she's an electrical engineer, and she works over in London, and so he's an electrician. So next boy I have is Ronan. He's training to be a farmer with Pat. He's going to hope to take up the farming business when Pat retires. And then he's 23 years. I have a boy at 16, Donard, who's at St. McCartan Seminary in Monaghan, finishing off this year, doing his leaving certificate. And,
Thank you. That was beautiful.
As to stay in Monaghan, I was going on like a halfpenny book.
Okay, I'm running low on the battery, so we gotta do it.
What about part
Yeah, my name is Anne Shaw, married to Larkin, and we live in Ravensdale. You have all our history now. I think Larkin gave it to you there, and we're enjoying ourselves here, meeting all the family.
Right, here we go, rolling.
Well, this is Cormac and Karen Shaw. I'm a son of Lorcan Shaw. We got married 8 years ago. Karen's from Cleveland, Ohio. And maybe Karen tell you where we met.
We met in London on a bus.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
We corresponded for a while over the Atlantic by letter, and then eventually we said,
See, now there's another part. Is it a brother? Sister.
There's absolutely no... My name is Jim Shaw. I was born in Carlow. My father's name is Thomas, he's Christopher Thomas Shaw. My mother's name was Martha Harvey. My father was born in 1903, my mother in 1908. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters, and I have a deceased brother. He died at birth. And I was married myself in 1961, and then I have 6 children, and that's about the size of it.
Do you have grandchildren? Grandchildren?
One child.
Can you name
One
6?
grandchild.
Okay, we'll go next.
My name is Mary Shaw. I'm Jim's wife. We have 6 children. My maiden name is Power, Mary Power. I was born in Carlow. I am from Carlow, and my mother and father, my mother from Kilkenny, my father from Dublin. And this is my daughter, the youngest. She's 10 years of age. Mary's her name also.
There's a little afterthought.
So you say something, Mary.
My name is Mary Shaw. I'm the daughter of Jim and Mary. I have no children.
Very good, all right.
Yeah, that's a show. Would you like to say hello to your cousins in America?
Say hi, Katie. Hi,
Give
Kathy.
away, Mary.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, we'll move on here. And there we go, over here. Can you move in just a little closer? Okay.
I'm Alan Keogh. This is my mother and my father here, Margaret and Tom. I'm 19, one of 7 children. Hello to everyone in America, and I have no children either.
My name is Margaret Shortle. I'm married to Tom Keogh. We have 7 children.
What was your maiden name?
Oh, I was Shortle. My mother's name was Annie O'Brien. She married Michael Shortle. And I have 1 sister and 2 brothers.
Is that about it?
That's it.
Okay, we'll go to Tom. Here we go.
My name is Tom Keogh, and my mother and father were Michael Keogh and Molly Shaw, and they had 9 children, and I got married in '63. I have 7 children of my own. No, I have none of them, Grant. I want to say hi to everybody in America, and that's about it.
Yeah, how about saying that, what you wrote on the letter, the end, the saying?
Or I can't leave a fire to everybody in America.
And would you explain what it is? Because they think it's spring running.
It means 100,000 welcomes.
Oh, right.
All right?
Okay. Okay.
Right. My name is Oliver Kinnair, and my aunt was Marcella. She married David Shaw in Auburn.
Edward.
Well, we call him Edward.
Our son was Edward.
Marcel's husband's Edward. Marcel's husband was Edward.
Was it?
Yeah, my father was named after him.
Well, he was a descendant of David.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I met a number of the Shaws here before when they were visiting Ireland, especially Cathy Decker. She has something wrong with her hand, as far as I can see.
I'm going to play this to her,
She
you know.
gets writing cramp. Something like that.
I'm going to call her and play this. I'm going to call and play this to her, you know.
And I have lived in Ireland all my life. My father was Patrick Canal. He lived in Auburn for a couple of years in 1922.
Mm.
And he got a job on the corporation. And he didn't fancy shoveling snow into manholes. So he went down to work with a group in New York, Skull Shoes.
Mm.
He worked with in New York. And he left America after 2 years. Probably said he couldn't bear the heat in the summer. He couldn't bear. I tell you that in a minute. He couldn't bear the cold in the winter or the heat in the summer. So before he came home, he went to visit his sister, Marcella, in Auburn, New York, from New York, in Auburn. And he asked Marcella's husband to know would he give him a hand with his fare home. And he says to him, Paddy, he says, the best dollar every year had, he says, was the 1 year and just that.
He wasn't alone.
He worked his way home. That
would have been bandwagon.
That time.
Yeah, bandwagon, yeah, we call
Could
them.
work their way home.
They used
that
to
time.
deliver magazines to Marcel.
Yeah. Well, I'm married here in Ireland and have 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl, and I have, I think, 2, 4, 5, I think 5 grandchildren that I know of.
Is your wife living here?
My wife is living, but she's knocked up with arthritis at the present time. So I think we won't be travelling too far in the near future.
Oh, okay.
So that seems to be.
Well, you tell us a little bit how you knew your friend over here.
Yeah, sure. Jim Shaw and I we worked into one hospital. And
It's the same hospital.
What did you do?
Male nurses.
We're nurses.
Male psychiatric nurses.
And you were too?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Nursing officers we were.
Yeah. They call them that now.
I have to
Not
tell you a
anymore.
story.
We're retired nursing officers. And you were there about 40 years, weren't you?
30 years.
Oh, well, the same as me, I was 38 also, but that was you and me.
Did you know each other all that time? I mean, did you know you were...
Absolutely. Oh, before we went to work?
Yeah.
No, not before we went to work.
No, it's only in latter years that we found out, you see, that
Oh, yeah, about this
he had a cousin.
relationship,
He had a
yeah.
cousin in Auburn, and I said I had a cousin in Auburn. So nobody in this country knew where Auburn was.
Oh, I can understand that.
Even when you get a map, right?
Yeah.
There's a mark on the map. You would get Syracuse all right on the maps.
Mhm.
See, there was no Auburn that I could see. And I thought, oh, my father was Auburn. He was talking about him. I thought he was real. About this town of Auburn. Because it wasn't on the map that I knew. And then Jim, or Nanshaw or somebody told me about his cousin. What's his name? No, the man that came here. And,
Leo Shaw?
Leo. He had a dog called Carlow.
He had a dog, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he was in Carlow in 1950, I think it was 1956. He was in Carlow in 1956, and he came to our house in St. Killian's Crescent. That's where I was born. And he came to our house, and he told us that he called his dog Carlow, so that his children would always know that his dog he had was called Carlow, so that they would always remember the name of the county he came from in Ireland. And we thought that was a bit of a come down, like name these dog after. Wasn't good enough.
That same Leo Shaw, whom I have never met, was my father's first boss when he went to work at the bank just before the Depression.
In Long Island, in New York City.
In New York City. My father was coming from Long Island and would commute by the Long Island Railroad and then have to answer to Leo Shaw. And 50 years later, I married one of the descendants.
One of that gang.
Yes, the gang is definitely right.
He was like a second cousin.
Yeah.
Probably our father was first cousins.
Half first cousins.
Half first cousins, yeah.
Well, Leo Shaw came to Ireland. There was this thing went on. It was the Marshall Plan. You remember those things after the war?
Yeah.
After that Second World War.
Financing.
He had to administer. He had something to do with the administration of this Marshall Plan, and he was also whatever bank he worked at.
Chase Manhattan.
Chase Manhattan, his
He was
president.
also, I think, the vice president.
Yeah.
President.
Yes.
President.
And he was.
Maybe then.
Well, at that time,
Yeah.
he was also the European representative of the bank. I remember those things. I was about, what was I, 18 or something like that. I can't remember. It must have been 1954, but I was only 18. I was born in I was born in 1934, and I was 18 when he came to Ireland. So therefore I was 52, I think, 1952 when he came to Ireland. And I remember all those things. And I remember he said I had something for the kiddies. I said we were well, I was younger than me. Well, something for the kiddies. And I said, you can expect this guy coming with a big box of chocolates, you see, lovely. And he came with a little box of chewing gum.
That's Leo.
I got his chewing gum, I looked and I took out the chewing gum and started chewing it. I sat beside him, I said, and I see my father said, Jim, I want to see you for a minute. And I went out, yes, you're right, go out. And you behave yourself. I was 18 at the time.
That's a great story.
Yeah, but Leo was, as I understand, was stationed in Moscow in the early.
He had some connection.
Yeah,
with,
he was over there for a while, I know.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to go up to the corner grocer, and the guy by the name of Phil Lyons used to say to me, "You're getting to look more like your Uncle Moscow every year."
Yeah.
So finally I said to my mother, "Who's this Uncle Moscow?" So that's when I first heard about these people, because they were in Michigan.
Our father.
And your father apparently was going to go to Russia. He told you.
Talked about going there.
So they nicknamed him.
Yeah, may I tell you the story?
Yes.
He'd be down at the pub and talking with everybody, and from when he told us about when he was a young boy, that Leo's family, they were like the rest of us, very meager, And he said he used to give Leo money to go to the picture show on Saturday. And I think it was like a nickel or something, and Leo didn't have the money to go. So in later life years, when Leo had made it well and he was in Russia setting up the bank, my father would be at the pub talking with everybody and saying he's going to go over and see Leo in Moscow. And so they picked up the name. You know, they used to kid him because he spoke of it very often, and he was in the pubs very often at Brady's Saloon. So they used to call it, and they did for many years. Oh, gee, probably till the early 40s. They used to. My uncle would come to New York or Detroit, and when we moved there, and my aunt Maybelle, and she always called them Moscow for many years on that. So that's kind of the story how we know it. It may be variations.
And you bring the ashes of the Tsar to the King of England, to his cousin, the Tsar's cousin to the King of England. He brought the ashes to the.
Yeah, he had something to do with it.
Yes, we heard that.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, we heard that.
I'm going to cut this off for a minute and let us rest, and I need a thirsty drink here.
I'll get you a drink.
No, okay.
Hi, I'm Emer Shaw, and I'm from Carlow in Ireland, and I'm 21 years old. I'm getting married next year. I went to school in Carlow in Asca Primary School and St. Leo's College here in Carlow as well. I'm working at the moment in a festival up here in Carlow, and we deal with a big major festival, Aigsha, which goes on every year in May for 10 days. And I'm daughter of Jim Shaw and Mary Shaw. And
Did you want to tell us?
very spite.
Do you want to tell us your fiance name?
My fiance's name is Paul Moore, and he lives in Tinner Island. And he's a sheep dealer.
Oh, wonderful. So you're going to be a sheep? You're going to skin the sheep?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Shear the sheep,
Yeah, and you have quite a few brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers. And one is younger and the rest are older.
Your father never beat you or anything like that, did he?
Oh, never.
Well, thank you very much. Would you like to say something to the people and your relatives in America?
Hi to everybody that will be watching this, and I hope to see you soon.
Hello, my name is Mary Shaw, and I'm the youngest in the family, and Emer's the second oldest, and she thinks she's great. She has a mock vice. She's getting married to a farmer, and he lives in a castle out in Tinner Island.
Oh.
The sink that's in his house is only about that high. I'm Jim's favourite daughter.
Oh, we got to get that. Say that again.
My daddy hates the long frock I have on.
My daddy hates the long frock I have on. Mostly he hates all my clothes.
That's typical.
That's it over and over.
That's all.
We're in